We're all about turning a crappy situation into something positive.
$250,000 of credit card
I
debt.
still remember the day when no one turned up.
Throw it in the garbage and start from scratch.
I could give myself a chance, so I started something.
I mean, I think that counts as from poop to gold.
Hi guys, welcome back to From Poop to Gold. I'm Daniel Harmon, Chief Creative Officer at Harmon Brothers and host. And my guest today is Dani Venen, who has the YouTube channel Editing is Everything. Her channel, basically you're a self-taught editor, and your channel, you basically take really popular movies or TV shows and you re-edit them
Yes.
into like different styles of movie trailers and that kind of thing, right? So really awesome stuff. Really fun. Like you're obviously an editing nerd. So let's get into a little bit of your background. How did you get into to editing in the first place?
Well, it all started way back in 2004. I had a dream where I made this amazing stop motion movie, and I woke up and I went to my mom and I'm like, Mom, I want to make movies. And so I'm the dreamer of the family, and she like brings everyone back down to earth. and she's like, do you notice how expensive movies are to make? And I'm like, no. So like dream crushed. But then I went into writing, and then writing turned into filmmaking and editing. And in 2008, 2009 was when I found Windows Movie Maker on my computer.
Okay.
And so my brother and I would just make silly videos, like music videos, sketches,
But that was your first editing software.
Yes,
very first Windows Movie Maker.
First editing software was Windows Movie Maker. I recently saw a picture of the whole timeline of like the original how it looked. I'm like, oh, throwback. Like
wow.
good old I think Windows XP.
Yeah.
when it was on. And so so it just started with just making a bunch of like silly videos and just getting my feet wet, and normally it would just be like parodies and all that. And then in 2009 was when I got my official like real editing program, which was Premiere Elements 9.
Okay.
And so that was when I went up to making short films. And it was all with my friends from high school, and I would enter contests through film fights. Saying that name just took me back.
The contest was called Film Fights?
Yes.
Okay.
And then going more into high school, my junior and senior year was when I took a program called Interactive Media, and that was when I met like a whole new family of filmmakers, photographers, editors, and I had already had a couple of years of experience prior to that, and so I made a whole new group of friends, and we would make so many short films together, so many video projects together, and I learned so much there as well. And then after graduation, I think I kind of fell out of video editing for like maybe a year or so.
Yeah.
And then in 2014 was when I met my boyfriend John, and he introduced me to all his friends, and they were theater kids.
Okay.
And so theater kids with videos, I mean, free actors.
Yeah.
So we would just we would look up video competitions online. We would write original scripts, and I fell back in love with video editing back in 2014, and so I would like I said, just do a bunch of short films, music videos, and online contests, and then 2015 was when I got hired at my local mental health company, Signature Health, as their video editor full time.
Okay.
And so I would just do like kind of like vlog style videos and documentary videos, interview type as well.
Is this your first time to be getting paid then for making movies?
Yes.
Okay,
which
cool.
It's like goals.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was mid 2016. There was like a month at my job where I was making literally nothing, and so I was sitting in a white room just in silence, like going mad. And
just because they had nothing for you to do?
Nothing to do. And I felt like I was going to go literally insane. And then I realized that back in 2013, I had this idea to create a YouTube channel where I would take YouTubers' videos and turn them into something completely different.
Okay.
I had wanted to do it with Smosh first.
Yeah.
So I had started making a horror trailer, or I think it was like a thriller trailer, and then I stopped because I'm like, I don't know, this isn't going to be good. And so I just put it on the shelf for a few years. And then just in that dead space, I'm like, you know what? That was when I became a really big fan of Rhett and Link.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I had watched like so many of their videos. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just give this a try again? Because I literally have nothing to do. Why don't I try something new? And so what I did was I downloaded a bunch of Rhett and Link sketches because like their sketches are comedic and like they're so bright and colorful and upbeat and all that. And I'm like, this would be really cool to turn something funny into something scary. And so I made a video within like 12 hours, like not even that. And I uploaded it to YouTube and Twitter, and literally 12 hours later, Rhett and Link had shared it. And I'm like,
boom.
I think I found my place.
That's so awesome.
Thank you. And yeah, so like the response was.
So that was kind of like your first big break.
Yeah. I remember exactly where I was. I was at work. I was getting ready to shoot a video.
One of those kind of things where it's that like seared into your memory to remember like you're spatially where you are and everything that was happening.
I remember one of my coworkers walked in. I just had this like look on my face. I just like, are you okay? Like, I think my life just changed.
Yeah, awesome. Then when did you kind of, so you're having the success with the Rhett and Link recut and with Smosh and all these different channels. When did you kind of get into like going into more like traditional Hollywood type stuff?
Yeah, I think it just came from audience requests.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the very first movie that I did was Frozen.
Oh, yeah. You did that one as a horror.
Horror/thriller, yeah.
Yeah, the horror thriller, yeah. I remember that one.
That was actually, it was like, I uploaded it on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, because, I mean, snow.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the response was great on that. And then I did Night in the Museum.
Yep.
This was before 7 Different Genres was even, like, birthed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and for our audience's context, part of like the series that you do with yours is called 7 Different Genres, right? Where you take these different pop icon or like you said, movie or TV pieces and cut them in a whole bunch of different ways, a whole bunch of different styles. Well, 7 specifically, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Sorry, I cut you off. Did you have another thought there? Okay. Well, that's some really good backstory there. And with your videos, you don't just take the content that you're re-editing and stuff. You actually appear in them later on and like provide some commentary and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that, what you're doing there?
Yeah, so at the end of every video, I always pop in. I'm like, hey, all my editorials, it's Dani. Welcome back to my channel. Editing is everything. And so I talk about the editing process a little bit. I go into detail about some of the trailer stories. But all my trailers are up for interpretation. But some of the trailers have a very specific story that I like to tell. One of the most important trailers I like to talk about are the drama trailers. Because I like to dive deep into mental health, and that can go into depression or suicide or sexual assault, drug addiction. And me coming from Signature Health, like I'm exposed to that, so I have like firsthand experience with mental health, and I've gotten like free education from that. And so I never try to glorify anything in the trailers. I always try to find the most realistic representation, whether it's of a certain character that's going through something or something that everybody can identify with, especially with anxiety and depression. And I always pop in and I say, if you are going through something rough, or if you need someone to talk to, I will leave links and resources down in the description below, and I'll put numbers and websites to hotlines, and to like the Trevor Project, or
Awesome.
other links like that. I had a thought and
well,
I lost
no,
it.
but just essentially using your platform and the momentum that you've got in order to provide help to people that might be needing it. I love that.
Thank
It's
you.
awesome. Yeah.
And like the responses from the drama trailers are just so heartwarming, because so many of the responses are like this trailer just saved my life, or or this trailer like I relate to this trailer so much because back in like whatever year I had suicidal thoughts, but just being able to relate to this, like, it made me feel stronger, and like that is like the most rewarding thing I could ever hear, that this is something that I created helped somebody.
Yeah.
And it's so rewarding.
So empowering, so rewarding. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now, obviously you've done some writing, you have some experience in that area. You have a lot of experience in just telling different kinds of stories. And the question I have is, I don't know so much a question as much as kind of a discussion item. In Ron Howard's masterclass, he says the film is really made in the edit. That's where that really happens. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I really believe that. Like, as much as I feel at home on a set and directing and doing all that kind of thing, I actually feel like I'm even a little bit more in my groove during the editing process.
Yeah.
Because it's really where you're kind of piecing things together. And obviously you've latched onto that concept big time in the fact that you can take this fun, cheery, happy, kind of Rhett and Link stuff and turn it into something completely different.
Make it
Just
dark.
make it really dark and scary, or whatever. Or you go the opposite direction at times as well, right? Let's take something that's extremely dark and scary and let's make it happy-go-lucky fun, and like no one would ever know the difference. So,
Right.
What does that feel like? What does that process feel like to you in that? I guess, yeah. What's that creative process like of changing something over from even the way it was originally intended to something completely different?
It's such a cool feeling to be able to sit down, have a completely blank slate, and start the editing process, and be able to go through really any movie and see a certain scene and say it's from a Disney movie. Like, there could be one line where it could be like someone could say like I see you. And I'm like, that could be turned into something spooky.
It's all about the juxtaposition, right?
Right, yeah. And I totally agree with you that how there wouldn't be a film without editing. Like,
Right.
Like, editing is literally the glue for any film, any TV show, commercial, even like ads on Instagram. Like you can do editing on your phone. You don't have to do it just on a computer. But just being like behind the editing wheel is super empowering, and just being able to make one tiny change can just make all the difference.
The insight I'm getting from this is you said when you're watching through the footage of a movie, you're looking at everything through the lens of now dark or horror or whatever it is, and all of a sudden a line of like, I see you that is completely, benign in that context, or it's even fun or whatever it is. All of a sudden you say to yourself, oh, that can be turned to a different way. So it's like really approaching it with a whole different perspective and putting that lens onto each segment and thinking of it almost like in isolation by itself. If I took that out and put that somewhere else,
Exactly.
that's kind of the editor's gift, right?
Yeah.
Is to be able to find those little nuggets and be like, oh, that didn't make any sense before, but now if I put it over here, that's going to add everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's piecing the stuff together.
Yeah. And another example of that, this is no dialogue at all. This was from Rhett and Link's video, My OCD Song.
Okay.
This is what actually that inspired me to restart my channel, to actually create something and finish it and post it. At the very end, Link is is like face down on a table, and Red goes, "Mr. Neal," and so they're in kind of like some kind of like they're a single group OCD class, and Link very slowly looks up at him, and I'm like, that can be really scary if you tone down the temperature, tone down the vibrance, put some spooky music over it. I'm like, damn, what have I just done?
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love that they like take it in good fun too, and I would imagine most of the creators do as well, right? It's just good exposure all around. Cool. So, do you ever collaborate with other people on this stuff?
A couple times I have. I've done a lot of collabs with narration.
Okay.
So I'll give a shout out to my friend Tomato Biscuit. He has his like. He sounds exactly like the original Disney Channel narrator voice.
Oh yeah.
and so we met through YouTube, and he's like my go-to happy-go-lucky
narration voice.
Disney Channel narration voice.
That's
yeah.
awesome. So the one question I forgot to ask you is, this podcast is From Poop to Gold. So we always want to find that a story of where you've had a crappy situation that you turned into something positive. In your life or in your career, what comes to mind when I say that? Something where you were really knocked down, but you were able to rise above it and make it into something much better.
I think the first thing that comes to mind was just that moment of dead space that I had when I was at work for that month, where I had literally nothing to edit.
Yeah.
So I felt like I felt like I was going to go insane.
Or that you were going to get fired, huh?
Yeah.
If they don't have anything for me to do, then they don't have a need for me. I'm out of here, right?
See ya.
Yeah.
And so I think just that constant silence and that constant just nothingness.
Yeah.
Like it hurt my soul a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I wasn't really wanted or needed there, and I really wanted to make something big and special, not just for the fame and the money, but just so I could like make something so cool and so special that I can look back on that in a few years and be like, I did that.
Yeah, a little bit of a legacy,
me.
right?
Yeah. And so I think that little bit of nothingness enabled me to inspired me to find Rhett & Link's channel, and I was able to watch a bunch of their videos from not only their sketches but also Good Mythical Morning, and just their drive and their passion for what they create and for each other. Like, they've been friends for over 30 years, and like how is that not an inspiration?
Yeah, right.
So I think just their amazing drive and passion inspired me to start something new and to be able to create something that I've never done before, and just go out of my way and post it, and it paid off. I was able to thank them in person for inspiring me to start my channel, and it was just the most surreal thing. And so it just came full circle, and I really hope I get to see them again this year.
Yeah, I hope you do. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dani, for taking time to come on the podcast here. We've got a gift here from our clients.
Oh, cute.
For you. So, as well as
oh my
our book,
God.
From Poop to Gold.
That is adorable.
So that talks about it talks about our culture, the 3 pillars of creative processes, creative culture, and creative partnerships. So anyway,
that's so awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much
for coming on. Anyway, really fun story. Hope that inspires a lot of people to be able to go out and teach themselves something that they need to, accomplish their goal, whether that's editing, writing, whatever it is, business, marketing, you name it. You can Google it and YouTube it. It's out there, right?
Yep.
So thank you for watching and listening, guys. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.